Hello, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, March 7, 2023. I'm here at Rancho Mission Canyon Park, adjacent to Rancho Mission Canyon Open Space here in San Diego, California, and it's time for a spotlight on plants. So what I want to spotlight today is this beautiful, large, herbaceous perennial plant. And this one is ocean locoweed. This is Astragalus trichopodus variety lonchus, and it is a perennial herb, generally winter deciduous, meaning it dies back during the dry period. So I'd say it's maybe more drought to winter deciduous. So it dies back during the drought of summer and fall, and then it leaves out during the winter rains, and it flowers towards the spring months, and is a member of the Pea Family, the Fabaceae. So what we have here is sometimes a large, sprawling, sometimes shrubby, bushy plant that has very long, wiry stems and spreads out quite a ways when it gets large, like this specimen here. And we're going to start out with the leaves of this plant. So this is an herbaceous ephemeral perennial. It is dormant, so it looks like it's a dead bunch of sticks, and then it sends up new shoots every winter and spring during the rainy season. So it's drought/winter deciduous. And here we go. We got these pretty cool, even pinnately compound leaves here. You see where my hand starts. This is the whole leaf from my thumb all the way down. So it's pinnately compound and it's evenly compound. So it basically has an even amount of leaflets, as you can see the way it ends there, and kind of has a red rachis or petiolule, the leaf stalk, and then of course medium green grading to more of a reddish green going down the stem. Leaves are pinnately compound, maybe about anywhere from 3 to 6 inches long. And then we get the flowers of this beautiful plant. So being that it's in the pea family, a lot of its flowers look like peas. You can see there. You can see the keel and the banner of the flower. So we get these nice, long, about a foot to 2 foot long inflorescence with flowers near the top of the inflorescence stalk, as you see here towards the upper quarter of it is covered in these beautiful creamish white flowers during the late winter and early spring months. Again, we are in the early half of March. Now, I believe these plants are toxic to eat. I believe I might be correct. I believe I might be correct that livestock can get sick from eating this plant. I don't know 100%, but I think that's why they call it locoweed, because animals can get sick and maybe go crazy, maybe, after eating it. It might be a wives' tale, but I could definitely stand to look a little bit into that. But as you can see, you can also see it's starting to develop its fruit, which is a seed pod. A leguminous plant, in other words, a pea family plant, generally will develop your typical seed pods. Well, these ones aren't really super typical. They're still considered seed pods. See, they kind of develop, when they start developing, they're kind of flattish, light green. And then, when they get older, when they get closer to ripening, they will turn out looking like they're inflated with air. If you accidentally step on one of these seed pods, it's gonna make a pop sound. I've accidentally stepped on them before when they're draped over the trail, and sometimes you'll hear it like that bubble wrap. Sometimes you hear a popping sound because they're pretty well inflated with air. And of course, the seeds will be inside of it awaiting its next chance to grow. But yeah, and then they dry out and eventually they'll split and the seeds will fall out. So this plant is mostly found here in Southern California and into northern Baja. It's more of a coastal to lower foothills plant. So I wouldn't expect to see this high up in the mountains like at Mount Laguna or Cuyamaca Rancho. And I mostly see it here in the coastal canyons. And I've seen it at Torrey Pines, I've seen it at Torrey Pines Extension, and I've seen it periodically in these coastal canyons like here. So it's quite a neat looking plant. This would be a pretty cool plant. I wouldn't consume any part of it. Like I said, I believe it is toxic to eat. But it's definitely a beautiful bloomer. And probably be a really cool plant to add to your garden if you were to cultivate it. And it likes these often disturbed open areas like trail sides. A lot of times you'll see them on the side of trails. That's usually where I find this plant. Like this is kind of like the side of an old trail or path. And then sometimes you'll find them in open stands of sage scrub, meadow, and grasslands. Occasionally you'll find it in the chaparral, but it's more of a plant you'll find a little bit more out in the open. So there you have it. Astragalus trichopodus variety lonchus, the ocean locoweed. I don't know much about the regular variety Astragalus trichopodus variety trichopodus, but I don't believe that occurs here. And when I do come across that and know that I'm looking at variety trichopodus, of course I'll film it. But that'll basically be it for this beautiful, beautiful plant here in Canyons, San Diego. Thanks for watching my spotlight, and I'll see you on the next episode.